Let's face it, y'all, the grocery store is getting a little out of hand these days. Not only does the bill keep getting bigger and bigger, but the ingredient list seems to be getting longer and longer. So to save our money and our health, I have found many ways around the grocery store, and I'd like to share some helpful tips on how you can do the same for your family and be just a little more self-sufficient. I'll start with our local honey hole, as I like to call it. We go to a local raw honey self-serve shop where a beekeeping family that lives close to us is kind enough to offer beautiful raw honey to the community at such a great price. We can pour our own honey in bulk, and this quart jar would cost me 2 to 3 times as much at the store. This is raw and unheated honey, which is how it's meant to be consumed. We use it in so much cooking and so many things in our kitchen to sweeten, to avoid processed sugars, so this has been an amazing help to my grocery bill. One of the biggest things we no longer buy at the grocery store is milk, and we get our milk from a local farm. I go pick up multiple gallons every week. With this milk comes all of my dairy products that I make at home, like yogurt, kefir, cheeses, ice cream. So this is one of the biggest ways I'm able to stay out of the grocery store and save money and build strong foundational health for my growing family. I really don't know if I could be as self-sufficient without being able to get this milk. I don't have enough property for a milk cow, so this is such a huge blessing for me and my family. If you are curious to find raw milk in your area, you can go to realmilk.com to find a raw milk provider near you. I will link that below in the description. Just click the more button and you can see any links that I say that I am linking. Another thing we no longer buy at the grocery store is in-season fruits like blueberries, blackberries, elderberries. A local blueberry farm in my area is self-serve, pay by the pound. You can search these online. We actually have several in the area that we can choose from. Then I'll take them home. I'll wash them, dry them, freeze them to store for smoothies and cooking. It's a very cost-effective alternative to the grocery store. It's like $6.99 for 11 ounces of organic blueberries, which is 64 cents an ounce. These are $3 a pound, which comes out to 19 cents per ounce. So big cost savings there, but you really can't put a price on foraging for berries with your family and getting the freshest possible food with your own hands. So even if it somehow costs a little more, we would for sure still do this. Another favorite thing of ours to do is grow cut flowers. Here in Louisiana, I can grow flowers for 9 months out of the year at least and make bouquets in my home for friends. This cost me nearly nothing considering most of them are perennials and seeds are so inexpensive. And in-season veggies go without saying if you have a garden producing for you. Summer veggies are my favorite, especially fresh tomatoes for salsa. If you start from seed and have established soil, this is a very low-cost way to get fresh veggies and stay out of the grocery store. And one of my favorite things we no longer buy at the store are pickled peppers and hot sauces. We pick so many peppers in the summer, ferment them, eat them like pickled jalapenos, or for more spicy Thai peppers and things like that, we ferment them, blend them into hot sauce that keeps all year until we grow more next summer. Again, starting from seeds, a very cost-effective way to get all your peppers for next to no cost. Not to mention the fermented peppers are so healthy and a great, easy way to add probiotics in, which cuts down on your supplement costs. Next is a huge cost saver with so many uses, and that's tallow. I now render my own tallow for cooking and beauty products, including soaps, whipped tallow balm, and body lotion. It truly is nature's moisturizer and the best thing I have ever found to hydrate my skin. I get the cow fat or suet from a local rancher and render it down myself. You can buy it in jars from the store. I can link a good brand that I would trust if you needed to purchase it rather than render your own. I don't know if you've seen bread prices lately, but it is a little bit insane. This is actually the gateway drug of from scratch cooking that empowers lots of homemakers to take their food into their own hands. I very much agree with this. I started making our own bread years ago and never bought another loaf from the store. Not only is the cost savings huge, but the quality of my homemade sourdough bread with no additives or preservatives or sugar, it's no argument that it's the better option. I'll link my go-to sourdough sandwich loaf below. Just click the more button under the video to see any links or recipes that I mention. And I did want to quickly share my current favorite nutritional supplement created by a naturopathic and functional medicine doctor. This makes me feel so good. It's full of vitamins and minerals, and I make my own smoothies. I don't go buy any nutritional shakes or anything like that from the store any longer. I like the chocolate flavor. I'll link it below if you'd like to check it out for some well-rounded nutritional energy and detox support. But back to the bread, we make at least 1 to 2 loaves every week and use that for anything and everything, really. And this next one may not be as obvious, but we no longer buy canned beans or legumes from the grocery store. I buy dry beans in bulk. I soak them and sprout them for easier digestion about 2 to 3 days prior to needing them for a recipe. If this makes you curious and you want to learn more about why I do this, I highly recommend getting yourself a copy of Nourishing Traditions. I'll link it below for easy finding, but it has changed the game for me in the kitchen and taught me to prepare foods ancestrally for the most nutrient absorption. It is a must-read. We touched on fermented foods a bit earlier, but another probiotic-rich food you can purchase from the store is milk kefir. However, you never know how long they have allowed it to ferment, which is what is needed for more good bacteria to populate. So I like to take matters into my own hands and control how my kefir is made. I use raw milk and have been using the same kefir grains for several months. I have killed them once, but for the most part, they're very resilient. Unless you leave town for multiple months like I did and forget them in the fridge. I will link the kefir grains that I started with below. They come with full instructions. It's super easy to get them started, and you can just have unlimited milk kefir on your countertop as long as you keep refilling it. And kefir is very expensive at the store, so this is a great way to save money. All you need is the milk, and the grains will last forever, and you can actually sell the grains because they populate and get bigger and bigger, so you can sell them off to make a little extra money to make this cost absolutely nothing for you. I really do believe my family could survive off milk, meat, and eggs if we needed to, which is why I've made it a priority to keep high-producing laying hens on our little half acre. We also added a few guineas to the mix, and these are their little eggs, so cute. But I really think chickens are a great way to become more self-sufficient since eggs are such a complete nutrient source. Chickens can get pricey to start out, but once you have an established system, they're money saving, and what is better than controlling your food source and getting the cleanest, freshest eggs you can? And moving on, one of the most impactful ways we have stayed out of the grocery store the past several years is with our meat, specifically our beef. I buy from a local rancher by the half cow and get it butchered how I like it, and also get all the organs and bones so that we can eat nose to tail the way we were intended to. This saves us money when purchased in bulk and ensures the highest quality meat in my freezer at all times. Here are the beautiful grass-fed bones that will bring us to my last tip for staying out of the grocery store, which is making your own bone broth. This is the cornerstone to so many of our nutrient-dense meals, and having it on hand at all times is a non-negotiable. When I'm paying $2 to $3 per pound of grass-fed bones and making gallons of bone broth every week, you can do the math and compare to the insane cost of a quart of bone broth at the grocery store. That may or may not have been cooked long enough to draw out all the goodness that you can do at home. It's so easy, and I highly recommend making your own and making this a weekly habit to add to all of your meals and stretch meals longer to save more money. I hope this video inspired you to find little ways to become more self-sufficient and stay out of the grocery store to help save your money and your health. I make a video every week in the kitchen. See y'all next time.